Okay, I just wanted to start off saying a few things. First of all, just a question, which is in general, and it's negated by us now also. The question is, why is there so much anti-Semitism today in the world? As we know, Rebbeinu Shalom made a thing, halacha she'esav soneh es Yaakov. Asking why. Simple question. So I saw B'Shem Rabbi Yerucham Lubavitz that he said over a Maisa. The Maisa was that there was a town near where he lived, and in that town was all Goyim. Except there was one Yid who lived in the town. And that Yid who lived in the town was the only Yid there. And he was very afraid that his children would become good friends with the Goyim. And then maybe they get intermarried. He didn't want the hashpah of the Goyim on his children. So what did he do? So one day he went over to the guy's house because everything he tried didn't work. The kids wanted to play, so kids are kids, and they just kept on going and becoming friends. So one day he went over to the guy's house and he said, I want you to know, my children like your children very, very much, and they love playing with them, but you should know that they all have a very terrible infectious disease, and it's very, very catchy. And if your children are going to continue to play with them, so they may get sick, and eventually, it could be really bad. So therefore, I'm just saying for your own good, you may not want your children to play with my children. So the guy, of course, got very nervous, and he told his children immediately, you're not allowed to play with the Jewish kids, and so on. It wasn't true, but since he didn't want his children to have a shaykhus with the Goyim, so therefore, he made up this story. So the same thing Rebbeinu Shalom put into this world. He does not want us mixing with the Goyim. So therefore, by putting in this world, which makes no sense, because the Jews, certainly I'm biased, but the Yidden are the best people in the whole world. They just had a report that Lakewood is the 5th safest city in the whole New Jersey. Why? Because it's all from Yidden. We don't go stealing and robbing and killing, and we don't do these things, right? The best people in the world. So, Mechatesa. Teretz is, Rebbeinu Shalom is Am HaNivchar. We need to be separate. V'hivdilonum min ha'toyim and min ha'goyim, right? And therefore, he put it in the bria that we should not mix. And just as a shtickle, right, this is a little bit politically incorrect, but Lamaisa, I'm going to say it anyways, that you see that this October 7th thing, where did it start? It started by the people who lived right next to Gaza, because they were very friendly with the people in Gaza, and they were going to help them and take them to the doctors and buy them groceries and all kinds of things. And there was a chash that they would, become such good friends that they, who knows what could come from it. Right? So therefore, he dafka started it there. And those Yidden will never, ever be friends again because they know what they're really all about. Right? And then it spread out, now Baruch Hashem, I don't know Baruch Hashem, but it spread out to the whole world, which is, it makes no sense, that the victim all of a sudden became the aggressor. Makes no sense. But if you think about it, so the Israeli philosophy is that we are Ummah Bein Ha'amim, right? So we do all the things they do, whether it be in sports and music, all kinds of things. So what did Rebbeinu Shalom do? Like when they come to Europe, they all get booed and banned from playing in all these games. There's a thing called Eurovision, where the Israelis have big contestants. Now they want to ban them from Eurovision because they're genocidal people or whatever it is. But the ikka is to take away that we're Am mi bein ha'umas. We are not them. We are Am HaNivdal. We need to be separate, and we don't want the Goyish Hashbaz coming into us. Therefore, Rebbeinu Shalom put it to the bria that we should be hated. So that's point 1. Point 2. You see that there's a klala. Rebbeinu Shalom is going to curse us, and so the Zohar brings a Maisa with Reb Shimon Bar Yochai, and I think it's Rabbi Yehuda. It says there that Rabbi Yehuda had a kasha. And the kasha was that in the klala of Buchu Kaisai, it seems that it's not so bad, but the klala of Kisaveh seems much, much worse. So the question was, why is the klala of Kisaveh so much worse than the klala of Buchu Kaisai? So he wrote the question on a piece of paper. Reb Shimon was in the Ma'ara at the time, and he sent it over to Reb Shimon, and Reb Shimon saw the question, and he didn't know the answer. So he was Yoshev B'Tainis, and he was Beicha B'Chias Gedolos, till Eliyahu Navi came and told him the answer. And the answer is, it gives a mashal. I'm just really quoting a Zohar, but it gives a good understanding. If you have a child who's misbehaving, what do? So one way is to patch the kid, and so hopefully he'll never do it again. But since you're a father who loves the child, you don't want to patch the kid. What do you want to do? You want to threaten him, and threaten him in such a way that he'll be so scared, he'll never do the Avera. So therefore, by threatening with no intention of doing it, to hold back the anger, Rabbi Shalom was doing the same thing. He knew that we have taivas like everybody else, and we are nichshal ba'avera. So he gave us all the threats under the sun that we should not fall into yana averas. And by doing that, even though he had no intention of doing it, so even though the klolos seem much worse, but it's really only b'teiros a threat. It's not b'teiros a reality. And therefore, then we should understand that therefore be Isaac b'teira and do the mitzvahs and everything else. And that, taka, we should be zeichet to it.
So Kisavi never happened?
Huh?
Kisavi never happened, is that what you're saying?
Well, you can't say on an individual basis because everybody has trials and tribulations. You know, people lose their money and they plant their kerem and it doesn't grow and you can't have the wine and the wine's spoiled. It happens, right? But on a kol yisrael basis, it doesn't happen. It's just a musa. It's a yira for la'asid loving. And just to take one more thing, which I wasn't even going to say, but is that Rabbi Shalom does everything behelam. In the mitzvah of this week's parasha, so the Arizal brings down that there are four. It's really more so next week's parasha that I forgot the exact lashon hapasuk. Something that the haolam is bashamayim and the gilui is ba'aretz. I forgot the exact lashon hapasuk, but basically that everything l'mayla is hidden and everything down here is begilui. How do you see that? Because if you take the word mitzvah, what's mitzvah? I mean, he said change it. He says that there's ava yira Torah mitzvahs. So ava is chachma. It's hidden. Yira is coming from bina, as you know, is din. It's hidden because it's all feelings which are inside you. They're not things that come out that are begilui. Torah, you sit and learn Torah, and if you put it on Torah anytime or whatever you do it, then it's totally begilui, right? And mitzvahs is a begilui. You shake the lulav by everything you do. A ma'isa is begilui, and you see that in the word mitzvah. How so? That the word mitzvah, the first two letters is mem tzadik, and the last two letters is vav hey. So the vav and the hey is part of the Shem Havaya. And that's begilui, right? The vav represents Torah, and the hey represents Maisa, which is mitzvahs. What about the mem tzadik? The mem tzadik in atbash, if you take the mem in atbash, becomes a yud, and you take the tzadik in atbash, becomes a hey. Yeah. So you see that the mem tzadik is hidden. It's really yud k, but it's hidden in the atbash, showing you that the Ava and the Yira, which is Chachma and Bina, those are always hidden. Masha'enk in the Torah and Mitzvahs, those are always begilui. May we be zeicha to everything good.
That's it.
That's it for that.